Welcome back. And here we are again. This is Being Well with Jarrell and Chantel. Of course, I'm Chantel, and this is my.
And I am Jarrell.
And we are going to be touching on a topic that's very interesting. Jarrell, let us know where we're going to be going into right now.
So today we're going to touch on everyone's favorite, social media, but the stress and anxiety that it can cause by trying to keep up with the Joneses.
It
So
is quite extensive, and
quite an
I think,
extensive topic, but sorry, go ahead, I
yeah,
cut you off.
not a problem. I think it's extensive and it's a juicy topic because it is, I think the millennial moment really, really honed in on this. And
Hmm.
I did want to start with some kind of sad news. I'm not very intertwined with these people, but people have been sending this to me. I'm not sure why. I'm not a person of the botch. I'm not a person of the surgeries. I'm not a person that would enhance body parts. But um, I learned today via social media, as we know, that um, who is it? DC Young Fly, his girlfriend passed
Yeah,
away due to some surgery implications, like some imperfections that had gone on. And that's really, for me, I think that's sad. Just to relate or be compassionate as a human being to another
right.
person, it is very sad. And I think that has to do a lot with branching or piggybacking off of our last month with mental health. You have to have some mental capacity where you feel like there's something that's lacking, that you want to inject foreign things into you, and that you know it can result in your life ending. You have children, you have a family, and now because we are trying to keep up with social media or the Joneses,
Right.
as you say, it is sacrificing our lives. What is your thought and take on that
It's funny you bring it up.
moment?
Well, ironic you bring it up. I heard about it earlier today, but I didn't realize that her death was related to that. Not until you just said it.
Hmm.
She
Hmm.
was young. She was 32, which is wild. She had three kids, if I'm not mistaken. And it's tough, it's tough. You gotta, feel for the kids. You gotta feel for DC. You gotta feel for their families.
Hmm.
Obviously we don't know, her true um implications, like how she felt, like what she wanted to do, like was she really trying to keep up? What, like did she need something? That we don't really know the truth. But it's
Right.
just a sad situation. And we look at, like, things like, getting implants or getting work done on your face and stuff like that. And people do it because, they they want to keep up. And social media is a big image. You see people on social media doing it, or you see people on social media looking perfect. But a lot of these quote unquote perfect people had some work done, let's be honest. I mean, don't get me wrong, there can be perfect people, just a small percentage, but a lot of them had the work done, and it's it's just the image that we're being taught to portray nowadays is just it's a little messed up.
Yeah, it is. It's messed up and it's messed up. She had to lose her life because of that. I always say it's unfortunate. We not saying I'm speaking for the masses or the public or the society or the world, but majority of the time we don't understand something that people are reciting to us until it becomes something detrimental. And sometimes it doesn't even reach death, but unfortunately this time it reached that point.
Mhm.
Why is it that we have to wait to that? Why is it that we can't understand that these things are detrimental to our lives? And it's not just surgeries or injections or things like that. Just you knowing that you should not be cultivating around these groups of people, but you continue to do so because you
Right,
want to keep up with a light or something like that.
right. I
It's
mean,
not worth it.
like, switching gears briefly, if you think about it, the millennials, not even millennials, what's under the millennials? Gen Z, right?
Gen Z, yeah.
I lose track, and I think they got Gen Alpha now. That's the younger kids, but we'll get to that some other time. Yeah,
Alpha.
Gen Alpha. I read about it. Gen Alpha is like born from 2014 or something like that. If I'm not mistaken, I'm
Whew.
pretty sure we could look it up and fact check that later. But
I'm
the
looking at it
Gen
now.
Zs, the Gen Zs,
Like
it's
what?
crazy because they're growing up in this world. Me and you, we didn't grow up in the social media world. Social media became crazy to us maybe like somewhere in our 20s, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe like mid 20s around there, mid early 20s. Social media became like
Or
a
I would
thing.
say like early 20s. I was looking at my Instagram the other
It
day. Those those pictures, the way that the whole platform looked, they have totally developed and
was
come
different.
far. And it is so different. It is
We used to
so
post
different how
I
it
used to post
looks.
like anything, and the pictures used to be trash. Now, if you don't post like some grade A, high quality picture, it's like nobody's looking at that. Come on
Right,
now,
right, right. Sheesh.
it's just different,
Okay, real quick,
real
just to
quick.
get into this Gen Alpha or Generation Alpha moment. So it's Generation Alpha is a generation following Generation Z and currently includes children born in or after 2010.
2010, I said
In
2014
or
almost.
after. So what is my son then? The same year the iPad was born. The majority of this demographic is under 13 years of age, but the oldest of them will become teens in 2023.
Right? Yeah,
Born in or after. So what happens to those ones that were born before 2010? What are they called?
I don't know. There's too much going on right now.
It's way too
Um,
much.
they lost me. Gen Alpha's the new one I read about. There's some new kids right now. They're a whole nother breed. You know, a whole nother breed of species of kids. But I'll give it to them. There's some smart kids growing up because knowledge is at their
Oh yeah.
fingertips. They're going to
Mm-hmm.
be smarter than us at 18 than what we were at 18 if they try.
Absolutely.
They don't even have to try
I
hard.
mean
Like, right in
now.
front of your face.
Even now. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Even now.
Kudos, kudos to them.
Even now. Yeah. I love it for him. I love
Same.
my son for this. Yeah.
Hmm. He's going to teach you how to
But world,
reprogram your
watch
whole
out.
computer.
Oh, I mean, he built a computer a couple weeks ago.
Oh, well, hello. Isn't that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Genius
Yeah.
kids.
So here we are.
Not
This is
saying
what
it
they're
was
doing.
impossible when
They're
we
all
were that
about.
age, but geez, I mean, you could YouTube it now.
I wasn't thinking about that.
Nah, I would want
He
to go
legit
outside
wanted to
and
do
play.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, they don't have that now though. So I
outside.
understand. Like they don't have green. They don't have outside. They don't have
What?
grass and they don't have greenlands. No, they don't. Not on
I
this
try to
side. Not
force
in the
my kids
north.
outside every chance I get.
I mean, he can go outside, but it's you're going outside to adults. You're going outside to the concrete. You're going outside to cars honking and bonking.
It's not the
There's no
same.
Greenland. There's no. There isn't.
Go
Mm-mm.
ride your bike. Go get lost.
Where? And get mashed up by somebody's car because they don't want to see you riding your bike in the street. It's just you can't you can't even do that
So is that
anymore.
is that a
Not
difference in is
not
that a different parenting technique that we won't let our kids just go out and be lost, whatever, all day? Are we like punks as parents, or our parents just didn't give a shit about us and they let us go out and get lost and come back before the
hmm.
streetlights came on? Or or or
I
or
was
or has the world just gotten worse and we're more cautious?
I, I feel like the world has gotten worse and we're more cautious
Okay.
because my son has been like I taught him. I think where you come from, like what your derivative is, that's kind of what you bring forward unless you find that there was something super I would say something you cannot bring forward to your life now that you need to break those generational
Hmm.
curses
Yeah.
that there. But as far as me, I've always been independent. I've always taken care of everything. I've always taken care of the household. I've always taken care of my brothers. I've always been a mom.
Yeah.
With my son, I you subconsciously bring those things to them and being conscious of what you don't want them to experience that you experienced. So I have had many times where I've been nervous and scared, but also proud because he has done something that I've
Right.
shown him or guided him to do. I talk about it all the time. I remember the first time that he walked to my job. It wasn't anything out of this world, but the fact that at 8 years old he showed up at my job and had only gone there one time with me, like walking that distance with me. I
How
was
long was the
very
walk?
proud, but I was super scared. It's a straight shot. If you know Boston, very well, it's Tremont and West Newton. That's where Upper Crust is. And you walk down, you can pass by the Cheesecake Factory and you take a right down on Boylston and boom, you're right there. But
Speaking a
still,
foreign language to me.
that's like it's like 20 minutes. 8 years
Damn,
old.
8-year-old walked the 20 minutes. Wow.
Hmm.
Kudos to him.
Yeah, he was determined. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna go see my mom." But that was
Mhm.
because I was a mom. I was trying to figure out how and who can watch him without me having to be there and not having to pay, but also feel safe and sound that he will be safe in the
Yeah.
care of their eyes.
It's
And
hard to
it
put a
worked
price
for a
on
little bit.
childcare.
It's what?
It's hard to put a price on childcare.
Oh my God. It's kind of crazy, but that's how it was. Like the whole block watched him for me without them knowing that they were watching him for me because we created that dynamic because we lived around there
It's
and I
good.
had to work. Everything I did was around his schedule. I don't know how we got off into this tangent. Oh, because like our parents and not caring
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever.
we kind of
Oh,
veered a little bit,
yeah.
but it all ties back into
It all, you know?
it all comes back together to social media and the stress and anxiety that could cause because we sit there and we'll see like uh Joe Schmo will be going on vacation again for the fifth time in 2 months, and then we look at ourselves and our jobs and we look around and we're like, "Why the hell aren't I going anywhere right now? How are you doing this?
Okay.
Oh, there goes Joe Schmo
Okay.
again. Now he's in Guam living it up. You know, and I'm still here in my house.
How?
What is he doing that I'm not doing? What is he doing?
He's paying attention to his moves and his credit and how he uses money.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, I think that's another thing I had learned and I listened to um something on social media on top of that. But I was like, damn, this is kind of true. It really resonates. Like the middle class, the poor people, they think that working or getting money is only to pay bills. Middle class, they believe that you work and you get money so that you're able to use your credit. Like you're eligible to have credit and use that wisely. The
Hmm.
rich know that they have this credit and they have money and they want to use their money to make even more money. Like how else can I make money? So
Okay.
where do I fit in? Where does Chantel fit in? Where she is living in this middle class, or am I? And all she keeps thinking about is how else can you make more money? But at the
Right.
same time, excuse my language, but I really, in all respect, I don't give a fuck about money.
You're
But I
excused.
have to because we live in a society where it's really ruling our minds and how we operate.
Well,
And
you
I
need
think that's
money to
another
move.
thing. You need money to move. I know it's a rabbit hole for us to go down and seek out the source of this money. But even the people that have that amount of money don't understand what the true derivative of that dollar is. And
Mm.
now we're going into this currency that is not liquid. It's not tangible. This is what they want eventually, like entirely. Where is this currency happening from? But again, I'm just going to go right back to social media and how social media really puts an image out there for us.
Mm.
And I
Mm.
think
Full
many
circle,
people
please.
will not have that. Yeah, they won't have that kind of conversation. So to see these images and to see the lives and how it really impacts people and on a daily, I think I work very hard trying not to keep up with the Joneses, but to keep up with my unapologetic authenticity to myself.
Well, that's you. I mean, not everyone can really be like that. The majority of people.
Mhm.
I mean, I even get caught up in this trap. every now and again too. We get
Mm-hmm.
stuck in social media, watching people live
Mm-hmm.
their fake lives or their real lives, whatever it may be. A lot of it is not exactly real. A lot of it is glitz and glamour. And then we're like, damn, why the hell can I do that? Where's my Ferrari? Where's my Model X Tesla? Like, like I want to live that life too. And what I do give up to these new kids coming out, these millennials, sorry, Gen Zs and Gen Alphas, they're gonna be really good at multiple streams of income. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they're going to be really good at it. I think our generation was the first one to be like, okay, we're not going to be our parents and we're not going to work one job for, 40 years and then retire and then be like, oh, what do I do now? I'm just going to sit here and then eventually die. And then the generation after that was like, we're going to take it a step further and we're going to literally change jobs every 2 years and do something on the side because why the hell not? And we're going to travel.
Why not?
And the
Right.
generation after that is just going to be out there doing God knows what, influencers, podcasts, all over social media, just making money. Like you think about it, like all the jobs right now that are like, some of the jobs are converting to having like, robots and stuff like that working, because real people don't want to do that. These kids nowadays, they're not going to work at
Exactly.
McDonald's. What? Could you
No.
imagine?
No.
I remember growing up,
No.
my first job, I wanted to work at McDonald's. Like, yeah, I wouldn't mind working there. These kids would never. It's so different
Never.
now.
Talking about groceries, packing bags. Like they're like, what?
What? Pack
What?
bags? You crazy?
My cousin the other day, my cousin the other day, she's like, "You're going to work? You going to work?" I was like, you know what? Yeah, girl, I'm going to work because I guess I still have to fund myself for the business that I want to have for myself, and that includes going to somebody else's entity.
Preach.
Whereas, as you're saying, they are on a level up. They're determined. They're straightforward. This is what I want to do, and they're gonna do it, and they do it. I'm not even. I don't even have anything to say about it.
No,
They do it.
I commend them,
She
man. I look
doesn't
up to
go
them.
and work at someone's workplace. She makes her money.
Hmm.
They're very strategic. I remember when I was younger, and sometimes I feel like I have gotten into a space where I did get to the comparison moment because, as I said, I was the caretaker after a while with my brothers. I got the phones. I had gotten whatever money. I had made sure of whatever, I don't know, food outside of the house if we needed to, or whatever need be. I was able to provide that. I was able to take care of myself. I was able to take care of whatever minuscule bills I had at like 22, which is barely anything, but I was like so much more organized and strategic and just adequate. Now, as a grown person, it's almost like I want to be able to live now,
Mm.
but this is the time that you actually have to be an adult. And if you haven't had that, I guess, sliver or slither of access to whatever life was out there in our generation, you're in a moment where you are part of that working group. You
Right.
are part of that working class right
Right.
now.
You don't want to be.
No,
No.
absolutely not.
No. Life's
No.
changed. Um,
Yeah.
but again, circling back to social media, um, the stress and anxiety will be abundant when you can't live up to what you're seeing on your feed. And like you're trying, you're
Yeah.
trying, you're trying because you don't know how they do it, how they're doing it, and you're not getting to where you have to be, where you think you should be, and it's stressing you the hell out. Like, don't get me wrong, some people will see something they want and they will get it. They will work their hardest to get it, and they will end up getting it. And then there's a lot of people that will
Hmm.
see, Kim Kardashian traveling and doing this and doing that and living here and doing that, and they can't live like that, and it stresses them the hell out. They don't know what to do. They'll make
Become
OnlyFans.
desperate. Hmm.
Yeah, make OnlyFans, which you hear all these stories about people on OnlyFans making buku money, and you're just like, man, I could do that. Like, people will subscribe to me, and it is what it is. You try it, you do this, and if you fail, you fail. Whatever, you make it, you make it. But the stress and anxiety will build up trying to get there, and it'll take a
Hmm.
toll on your mental health, and that's not what you need in this day and age. Too much shit going on in the world to have to worry about your mental health and stressing the hell out.
It
I
is
said
too
it.
much.
Yeah.
It's too much. But you also, I would say it's another time I would touch upon it, but I had loved the moment of social scientists that someone had brought up because we're all very synchronistic in our feelings, and when we're feeling up or down or just like neutral with the pendulum on a nice equilibrium. And why I bring that up is because I have felt like I don't know how you handle stressors or when you're about to receive information, whether it's great or not so great. With me,
Mm.
when there are people or things that I probably should not interact with or even be really thinking about, or I've been thinking about a certain topic or person, place, or thing, and it's not really well for me, my body reacts to it. The saying of listen to your gut, it's beyond that. It's not even in my gut anymore. I had back pain for like the past 4 days. It's done. Why? I had received a message from somebody that I don't want to receive a message from. And I think it's because the time has been trying to get up to there for them to finally release and send out the message to me to see if they get a response.
It's deep.
And that too has a lot to do with your mental health.
Yeah.
And I feel for those people out there that are super sensitive, like I am, like you feel things physically. But if you are not cognizant and aware of what you have experienced and your surroundings, i.e., your brain, who does function most of your everything, it can be detrimental to
Mm.
you. So, if I can go back to the first topic of how we got onto this with the young woman passing away because she's had bodily injections due to, I'm sure, trying to keep up with the Joneses or social media because she's a beautiful person
Yeah. She was.
looking at her.
Yeah.
But that has nothing to do with how she feels. Again, I can't stress we are born this way. We're born how we look. You don't have control over that at all. But you can do things to enhance that, and you have to do things to try and trust and believe in something else that probably isn't true. A majority of the time, bodily injections for just recreation, you know you have risks. Just like how we smoke and how we drink and all those
Yeah.
things, we know that there's a risk and we
Right.
know that there's a possibility of something that's super detrimental, but we do it anyway because in our minds, this is what we want to feel and this is how we want to look and be, and we want to be a part of that Rolls Royce, and we want to be able to travel to the Maldives, and we want to be able to wear this certain garment, and we want to be able to say that we've had a beverage or a drink with that person. But
Yeah.
in reality, do you have your background? Do you have your source? Do you have all that prior to the Joneses?
That's deep. Chantel, that was good. Um, I really appreciate you. Rest in peace to, I don't even know her name right now. I feel bad. Rest in peace to her. She's gonna, thoughts and prayers go out to the family. And, this is Jarell and Chantel doing well with our weekly topics on mental health. Hope everybody
Absolutely.
enjoyed.
I hope you did. We'll be talking to you soon.
Bye bye.
Peace.
Peace.